Hey everybody, the governor of Virginia has just required that all non-essential businesses close by Tuesday midnight, which is tonight. So we will be closing after our last lesson on Tuesday for about a month. I think that's how long they suggested to close for. We will be offering FaceTime lessons for those who are interested and who understand how to use their phone. But you can use your phone, your computer. We will be doing this through either FaceTime, Zoom, Skype. Certainly we can find a way to connect with each other online. In this message, I would like to explain to you a little bit about our teaching procedures and how we can modify them so that it can be taught over the internet. I'd also like to create personal goals for each and every student to accomplish over this 1 month time. After watching this informational video, I think you'll see that there's a lot we can do over FaceTime lessons or internet lessons. Not only will you learn, but you'll also be helping a small business stay afloat during this time. These internet lessons will be 30 minutes long and scheduled just like any other private lesson. The cost, however, will be 1/3 of a typical private lesson, which is $28.33 is a third of a typical private lesson. That's the same cost of a nice meal somewhere. We will accomplish these lessons over the internet, and also, as many of you know, learning some of the more detailed aspects like technique, styling, musicality. They can take time and they do not require much space or special equipment. So this now gives us a chance to focus on things that we normally don't focus on inside of the studio. We also understand that technology might be limiting. So if you would like to try this new way of learning, making the best of a tough situation through physical distancing, without any commitment, try one lesson in this way, and if it's not to your liking, then it's free. We actually guarantee all of our lessons in this fashion. We also understand that you will not have the pleasure of dancing with your instructor for that warm-up dance, or getting the feeling of a new technique through physical interaction with a trained professional. However, that does not mean you cannot learn. And although this is not the ideal way to learn, we will do our best to provide you with new skills that you will most certainly apply once the studio is back up and running. We can see a lot through the lens of a camera, especially in the realm of technique and styling. We can also do rhythm exercises, teach you how to listen to the music with a new ear. We can do all of that easily over the phone or computer. So I encourage you to take this pledge during this time of business closure. The pledge is as follows. Got to sit up straight for this one. I will learn more about styling, which includes, but is not limited to, things like rise and fall, sway, arm styling, head styling, hip styling, dance lines, musicality, and more. I will finally get that samba timing down through rigorous devotion to purely timing and rhythm. And I will learn 5 cha-cha timing variations without worrying about all the cool patterns that they can apply to just yet. We will put that off for 1 month. Now, we as instructors will also pledge to you, our faithful students, that we will create fun and exciting curriculums that can be taught over the internet. Picture on the screen is the STEPS acronym we use for teaching. And as you can see, there's STEPS, technique, expression, partnership, styling. Those of you that are more advanced students probably have learned half of these categories and feel quite comfortable in describing them. But let me go through and just quickly describe each one. In the steps aspect, we have timing and rhythm, direction. That means specifically going forward, backwards, things like that. A lot of times people think they're going sideways, but really they're going sideways and slightly forward. So we make small corrections when we're teaching. and then knowledge of school figures. So that would be the syllabus we teach, which is the DeVita syllabus, being able to execute those school figures. That's what STEPS means. Technique. When you learn technique, you learn about dance lines, which is lines inside of your body. So anywhere where there might be a joint, you can make a line. And we do that throughout the whole body and teach you where you can make lines so that it simply looks interesting. A lot of times these lines have to be practiced over and over and over again before they become muscle memory. This would be a great thing to teach over the internet. Footwork is another thing. That's how your foot strikes the floor. So when people memorize footwork, it feels a lot like schoolwork, I think, because in the beginning they're simply memorizing it. But again, this is something we can easily teach online, and you could practice it at home in your socks, in your kitchen. It wouldn't matter. Control, that's the ability to manipulate one part of your body without changing another part of your body. So when we teach that, that would be another area where you have to practice that specific body movement kind of in isolation. Balance, this is the kind of thing that takes time to learn. It's the ability to keep your center over a foot or split weight or over a heel, depending on exactly what we're doing. Poise and posture, it's how you hold yourself. This would be something that would be harder to teach online, so we would save that for when you come back to person-to-person training. Expression. Expression is trying to show a particular human emotion. So animation is sending that human emotion out of you. And we do that by interpreting the music, creating a personal style, noting the event that we're at, and then knowing the particular feeling that exists in a certain dance. Usually when we teach this, we provide different physical movements that can provide different feelings. And in the beginning, it's usually very challenging to do this, but I've done whole lessons where we didn't dance at all. We just applied a few basic movements and listened to music and talked about how that can provide feeling. And then students usually leave those lessons enjoying them quite a bit because they're so different. So if we take a month to focus on this, it'll just get that much stronger. Partnership. To learn partnership and practice partnership, you need to have somebody that you're dancing with to apply what you're learning. You can still learn things, new things. So if you're at home with a partner, we would actually be able to work on this because we can give you exercises to do along with the patterns that you probably already know. As a single, we would probably be limited in what we can do in the partnership area. It doesn't mean that we couldn't do anything though. And then styling, which could be arm styling, head styling, styling that pertains mostly to smooth, styling that pertains mostly to Latin, characteristics of a particular dance like rise and fall in waltz or drift in bolero. We could teach this online. It's harder, yes, but we could still do it. So as you can see, there's a lot that you could choose from to learn at home online, and we will be ready to teach this to you. Now, something we take for granted, the benefits of dance. Most of you have probably received the homework that we give out where we ask you to rank the things that you would like to get from dance. So pictured on the screen is the homework that we typically give to our students. And we do this for a very specific reason. Let's say you're the typical aerobics instructor and you like the idea of the exercise aspect of dance. You like the idea of a challenge. That kind of person, we would want to give them so much material that maybe they leave the studio not having achieved it all, so that way they go home and practice and they feel like they've achieved something. But let's say you're the type of person, I think of a lawyer or doctor, where maybe you lost the big case or somebody died on the table today, and really all you're seeking is relaxation. You can care less about dance per se, but you know that after a dance lesson, you go home and you sleep better that night. That person needs to be taught in an entirely different way. And as you can see from our homework, if you were to fill out one of these 15, we have 15 different ways that we would want to teach somebody so that you are being taught the way that you need to be taught. Now think about being at home and maybe being scared, maybe being stressed out, maybe being bored, maybe having all the needs and wants that you still have when you were able to come into the studio. We can give you some of those things still. As far as the stress part, we can de-stress you just because it's a happy distraction from life for a moment, learning about your body. In fact, they say that when you move your body, it releases endorphins. Things that cause stress that seem to get stuck in your body are released just by touching things and thinking about yourself and noticing movement of your body. It's amazing the healing process that happens when you're simply doing dance and focusing on it. So you can still get that a couple times a day. It would almost be like getting vitamins or something like that. As far as the sense of achievement aspect, we will certainly be able to give you things that you can do online. Like imagine learning 2 or 3 different rhythms of your favorite dance and applying that to the most basic pattern. You would be surprised how challenging that could be, but also how much fun it could be. And you would be able to practice that in your living room, in your kitchen, right now. And it would take the craziness of being trapped at home somewhat away. It would help tremendously, in my opinion. Now, here's what our staff will do during these FaceTime lessons. We will make sure that there's enough light so that you can see our movement. And when we demonstrate things, we will be wearing the proper clothing that will facilitate a better visual of how our bodies are moving. Your devices likely have the ability to record. So you can even record these lessons so that you can use them in the future, play them back afterwards, review them a couple times a day if you want. We will be prepared to teach you as a couple or as a single. We will bring the same fun and lighthearted demeanor that you have come to enjoy, which will continue to provide you with that stress relief that you always get during your lessons. We promise you the jokes will still be bad. See, that was a joke. Our jokes are actually really funny. So we also understand that you might even just be scared right now. And although dance lessons may not seem like much, we know that it can be a welcomed distraction during an otherwise tumultuous time. So for now, I leave you with this quote. Life is not about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain. So call now. You can text, email. Just respond to this email. And let us know what times are good for you. And you can schedule your first in-home lesson. You will not be disappointed. Thank you very much, and we will see you soon.